Hello Year 8. I'm going to show you a couple of different flowers and I'm going to dissect them and point out the parts. But you can try and identify the parts yourself. So I've got a few different flowers. The first one is pineapple sage. So you can see this guy has quite a lot of flowers on the one head. So I've pulled one flower off. There it is. So the one flower. Now on this, we can pretty clearly see the sepal, which is this green bit, and then the petals are the red bits. And then sticking out here, oh, that's a little aphid. Do you see the little aphid? I'll turn it that way. Yep. Oh, the sepal fell off. There you go. There's the sepal. And you can see sticking out without even dissecting it, actually. These little heads here have pollen on them, which would make them the anther. And then this long bit here is the female part. So this is these are the male parts. The two, looks like there's two heads with pollen and then one stigma. All right, so I'm going to pull back the petals so we can have a look inside. All right. Wow. Okay. So what's this that I'm going to pull out here? Ooh. Oh, there you go. The two, oh, they're not in screen. No. This is very difficult. There we go. See the two male anthers? You can see the pollen on the tops. Try and focus that. See that yellow pollen? And then this is the carpel, which is the female part, the stigma. The stigma up the top and the style. And then if we open this up, oh wow, it's really, there's a lot of liquid at the bottom here. Can you see that? That's nectar. It's like a sugary liquid to attract insects. All right, I'll show you another flower now. So that was pineapple sage. I remember what this bit is. That's the very mushed up stigma. And then this is the, what's this little bit left behind? See if you can name that. Okay, next one. We're going to do, well, it's a big one. This is a Chinese lantern. It's like too big for the microscope. Okay, there we go. So this is epic compared to the other tiny flower. Let's go start from the start. Here's that green part shielding the base. These, which is called the sepal, which we saw on the other one, and sorry. The sepal is usually what's kind of covering the bud at the beginning before the flower forms and opens up, and then when the flower opens up, everything comes out, and the sepal is the base. Okay, so these are some flowers. I'll just pull off some flowers so we can have a look inside. Ooh. Okay. So now I've opened it up. Oh, that is beautiful. Look at that. So you've got, you can see the ovary down here. And the ovule is inside the ovary. I'll cut that open. Now this, so you can see there's this one stalk in the middle coming directly from the ovary, which is the female part of the plant, which is the style. And then the little stigmas are here, these brown things that are sitting slightly above the pollen. They're the stigmas that are attached to this style going straight into the ovary. And then all these yellow bits, all of the yellows are their own little anthers. So these are all the male parts, the anthers. And then the anther is like the yellow top, and the stick that the anther is on is the filament. And that's the male part. Okay, so I'm going to slice open the ovary and we'll see if we can try and see the ovule. I'll just pull off some more flowers. Woo! Alright, so I've just pulled off a bunch of anthers. You can see the style is still there from the little brown bits. See the anthers, if you can see the base. Oh, hang on, I'll just move it. You can see how they the style goes directly into the ovary, whereas the anthers and the filaments go on the outside. They're stuck on the outside of the ovary. All right. See, when I pull that off, it's all right. I'm just pulling all these off. All right. Oh wow. So you can see I've still got the stigma, and there's still a bunch of anthers, filaments still stuck to this. See, the filaments are all coming from here. If I can get them off, we'll just be left with some styles. Styles. So style is like the bit that the stigma is attached to. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Now we're just left with the style and the stigma. Oh, that's cute. Okay. So now I'm going to cut open the ovary and we can see what's inside there. Okay. Can we focus on that? Oh, there you go. It's actually not very detailed, but there is like a slight casing that you can see, and then it's kind of just darker, or like there's a mass in the middle. So that's the ovule. Awesome. That was a cool flower. Okay, let's have a look at another flower. What about, where's my little wallflower? Oh, here we go. This guy. So tiny. So this is a wallflower, or a winter joy. And we can see by just looking at it, we've got the petals. This looks like yellow. It's got pollen on it. So that is the anther that is connected to the filament. And then on the back here, you can see its sepal is actually, it's not really green. It's more the color of the petals almost, which is totally normal. Lots of flowers have sepals that are the color of the petal. Sometimes you can't even really tell the difference between the petal and their sepal. So that's the sepal. There's the petals. And let's pull one off and we'll try and isolate some of the parts. We'll go with this guy. Okay. So now we can see. I'm just going to cut it in half, hey? Open it up. Oh, wow. So I'm just pulling off some flowers, some petals, sorry. You can see these bits are the sepal. And I'm going to try and zoom in. Oh, God. Okay, I've got it. Got it zoomed in. So, if you look here, it actually looks like what I thought was the pollen is actually the stigma. See, so the pollen is actually on these little guys. They're the filaments, and on the top is the anthers. It doesn't look like it's actually producing pollen at the moment, so it's not a fully mature flower. And then this guy, the one that was sticking out, is actually the stigma, and then the style attached to that. There you go. All right, let's see if I have another flower for you. I have another flower. It's an African daisy. It's a very simple looking, classic looking flower. It's just, this one's a bit broken actually. Hang on. Here we go. So it's just a flower with a big chunky bit in the middle. This one is actually a little bit different and it's harder to see. It's not as obvious, the stigma and the anthers. So if you look on the side, you can see it's sepal and the petals. And then in the center, actually, it looks like there's only anthers and filaments around the outside, but these are all actually anthers. They just haven't opened yet. So if you look at this one, see they're all open and they're all pollen. So if they're all the anthers, where do you think the stigma is? You can actually see it in this. Can you see these little sticks surrounding? They are actually the stigmas. So it has multiple stigmas, multiple female parts. Stigmas on the style, which the whole female part is called the carpel. And then these in the middle are the anthers that are on filaments. So I'm going to cut this in half so you can see the ovary. Okay. So this here, this whole like little section here is the ovary, and all of this bit here are all of the filaments that are connected to the anthers. And so you can see the sepal on the side. And if you open it up, hang on, I'm going to cut this one. Boom. All right. So there you go. Then there's the ovary. And you can see these are all the filaments. And remember the styles are on the outside. There's a little style poking out. They're kind of hard to see. Oh. There. Can you see them? Sticking out. Oh my god, it's so hard to get this in the right spot. Sorry guys. Okay. These little things here are the stigmas. So they're kind of surrounding the entire middle part. And they're now all covered in pollen, which you don't want, because then they'll self-fertilize. But yeah, can you see if I pull out the petal, it looks like the stigmas are actually inside the petals. See that? Okay. There you have it.